Have you ever felt lonely? Like, no matter how many people are around you, you still feel completely alone? What about experiencing moments of deep sadness where you feel like nobody around you could understand? Have you ever cried yourself to sleep? Not because you wanted to, but because it's the only thing you could do at that moment? Well, I know that feeling well because I've been there too. For my whole life, I felt like the best way to deal with my emotions was to bottle them up, put them in a safe, and throw the key out to the Pacific Ocean. But I was wrong. If you keep bottling up your emotions like that, you'll end up snapping at the wrong person. That's why I go by the simple sentence that goes like, let your wounds heal before you bleed onto the wrong person. Hello everyone, my name is Camila and my TED Ed student talk is about the importance of dealing with your emotions. No, I know some people are like me, or at least were like me. That's why I made this talk. I want to make sure that everyone around me feels comfortable, safe, and valid. That's why I'm planning on telling you some healthy coping mechanisms, some tips on how to deal with mental health, and some ways you ensure that you don't just survive your life, but you live it to the fullest. Now, imagine you walk up to someone and tell them about their struggles, and all they tell you is, well, it could be worse. Or like the Portuguese say it, o português tem sempre sorte. Well, as this is really heard. I've heard a lot. And if someone says that to you, first of all, the person is being an awful friend. And second of all, distance yourself. When someone dismisses your feelings like that, it does not provide you comfort. In the contrary, it tells you that your experience isn't valid and that no matter how much you're struggling, someone out there is struggling more than you are. And that's a damaging message to hear, even when you're already vulnerable to damage. Now, imagine you dealt with mental health as you would deal with disease or serious wound. If you ignore it, it'll eventually go away. It's something I really hear. But you can't just ignore the fact that if you get bitten by a rabid dog, you'll start feeling constant headaches and fevers. It'll eventually get worse and lead to difficulty swallowing and insomnia, which leads to fear of water, dehydration, and as you may already know, death. That's why you should just ignore your feelings. You should confront them, and only if you can't confront them, you should forget about them. Now, imagine you just overcome your trust issues. You walk up to someone you deeply trust, and you start tell them about their struggles. You start crying because it's obviously something that you're insecure to talk about, and all they tell you is crying is a form of weakness. Well, this may be mostly heard among men. Most people have heard it in their lives. Some people think that strong people are only strong because they don't show their emotions, but that's completely wrong. You're only a strong person if you know how to deal with your emotions. Now, when it comes to managing mental health, it was statistics show how toxicity in one's life can negatively impact it so much. As you can see in the first graph, the suicide rates have gone up drastically over the years. On a second graph, as you can also see, the cyberbullying or bullying in general has also gone up drastically. And the conclusion you can take from these two graphs is the cyberbullying or bullying in general affects one's life so much that they decide to take it. Now, I know how hard mental health is, especially when you're dealing with it. It feels like you're getting thrown a bucket of ice at you. That's why I'm planning on telling you some healthy coping mechanisms or some tips you could just enjoy your life. If you feel sad, you could go for a walk, drink hot chocolate, drink some tea if you'd like. You could also doodle, draw, take a photo, and describe the photo because it actually helps you focus more on the photo than on your feelings or sad experience that you experienced. If you're angry, you could write your feelings down on or write it on your notes app. If you need to vent to someone, you could talk to a healthy online community, to your friends, or again to your notes app. Something I also do a lot is whenever I feel angry, or I punch my pillow, or I grab an ice cube, and I throw it around, or I squeeze it. It ensures that I'm not getting hurt, neither are my surroundings. Something you can also do is take a break from your phone because on your phone there's mostly social media. On social media, there's mostly bad things happening to people. Oh, this might happen to this person. This might happen to another person. It's tiring to constantly hear. That's why you should take a break from it and you start seeing that you start feeling overall happier. Now, I have a friend. Let's call him Ash. Ash has a friend who felt like self-harming themselves was the only way they could survive. They felt like, oh, if I don't self-harm, I'm gonna die. That's what they said to themselves every day. Later, the same friend told Ash that they now press a pen cap against their own skin because it still feels like they're harming themselves, but they're not actually doing it. In the end, emotions are not our enemies. No matter if you feel sad overwhelmed or even broken, you're still human and you're still valid. So surround yourself with kindness and support, and you start seeing that you start feeling overall happier. You deserve to feel heard. You deserve to feel better, and most of all, you deserve to not just survive your life, but live it to the fullest. So be kind to yourself, give yourself grace, and no matter how much someone else is struggling, you're also struggling, and that makes you valid. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you could take something from my talk, and just remember that you are valid, and you I'll always be valid. Okay.